tell you how this came about, and then I'll take your questions, okay? Let me tell you how this came about. In April of 2006, the 3 applicants for the license were all facing the testimony in front of the Pennsylvania Gaming Task Force. And in the previous months, the conference organizations, the 14-member neighborhood organizations of the conference, had met each month with one of the casino applicants. So each month, one of the casino applicants came, they made their presentation, and then the Northsiders from the conference board, from all those individual community organizations, they quizzed those applicants. And they quizzed them like only Northsiders can. They grilled them. And let me finish. And they asked them questions, one a month for 3 months. And at the end of that 3-month process, the representatives on the board, the neighborhood folks on the board of the conference says, we're going to endorse no one. We're not picking a horse in this race. But, they said, one of those applicants will be located on the north side. And if they win it, North Side is going to bear certain unique impacts. We know what follows casinos. We know that businesses that like to follow in the wake of the casinos are not positive businesses sometimes. We've already seen a strip club, right, that wants to come to our neighborhood in Manchester. We know that those kinds of businesses will try to follow in the wake of a casino. It's not the casino's fault, but it's the nature of the beast. And we said, that's a problem. We said, we know, for example, from some studies, that foreclosure rates in housing in neighborhoods near casinos goes up. Proximity means sometimes more people gamble too much and they may lose their homes. And we know that we understand that's a risk. And so we talked to Mr. Barton. We have a housing commitment. That's right. Now, I'm not reading it to you. I'm explaining how we got it. So in April, we had an opportunity. We had a window of time before the testimony in front of the Gaming Commission when we felt the leverage to negotiate something to protect Northside neighborhoods, that window was the strongest at that time. Because that's when all the applicants needed somebody to work with and to testify. So I agree, but here's where we were. Here's where we were. We looked through, we worked through the membership of our groups, and we negotiated in the time we had the best deal that we could get at the time. And for Northside neighborhood. And I will tell you what the agreement is very quickly. First of all, on jobs, we said we want our folks to have a shot at the jobs here. Because in Atlantic City, the lesson in Atlantic City is that everybody assumed that the folks in Atlantic City would get the jobs when the casinos opened. And that didn't happen. And the reason it didn't happen is because people didn't prepare their neighborhood folks to compete for these jobs. And we negotiated a commitment from the casino that they will give a hiring preference to Northside residents. And they will give a hiring preference to low-income residents.
The question becomes, why come into the neighborhood?
Yes.
I come in for 5 or 6 months.
Yes.
And I use my address in that neighborhood. I'm already displacing somebody that lives in that neighborhood.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Criteria, when we did this, in a 3-year period, they're giving $500,000 soft money. Soft money on a grant will not establish me going any further after 3 years. The point I'm trying to say to you is that when you look at soft money, when you look at a grant, it only explicitly gives me a 3-year period. If I'm uneducated in that 3-year period, all I've done is breed the casino to make their conscience feel that we're giving back to the community.
First of all, you got a good point about the 5 months in living there. But the commitment on jobs is permanent. The commitment on the job 3 years.
You have distilled,
The commitment.
negated what you're trying to do. And honestly, I'm being very honest, I don't see the face of my organization standing up there with you.
We have some board members and board members of the conference membership, and I would ask that the board members of conference organizations, if some of you wouldn't mind, Ms. Barnes, I would appreciate. I know I'm the big white guy, okay? Last I checked, it's what I am, it's what I always will be. But there is a diverse representation in that board. Look, I'm being rushed off the stage. I'm happy to have this conversation, but the mayor's office wants to talk about design. I will stay with you as long as you want. I want you to come next Tuesday. We want to have this dialogue, but we want it to be a dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you. My name, I'm going to wait. My name is Jenny Watson. I am the Neighborhood Initiatives Coordinator for Mayor Luke Ravensall. Mayor Ravensall did want to have this meeting tonight because he was hearing from each and every one of you guys that you wanted information and that you wanted to be heard. Is that correct? You want to be heard? Control of the meeting, we're going to have to end it. And I do not want to. I do not want to end this meeting. But we need to be able to have everybody's voices heard. Everybody's voices heard. Okay? That includes yours now. That includes yours. But I'm not going to try to talk over anybody. One moment, please, ma'am. May I please have your permission to start over? Thank you. Okay, so the mayor wants to hold this meeting to get your input, but we can't hear everybody all at once when they're shouting over each other. What we wanted to do is give you some information just about what the architecture is proposed to look like. If you don't... Okay. Please follow with me here. Session that's coming up. If you don't want to hear about the design of the architecture, okay, you don't have to. You can come back on Tuesday, as Mark was saying, to talk about the social.